Greetings, planet Earth. I am back. Full context on what's happening here. One of our buddies, Showen, was doing some research on what is like the earliest sighting of Professor Barranco 3 he could find. And in his research, he came across a story called The Rayman, The Culture Revolution, which is an amazing title. It's by a person named Respect for Art, which I can respect that name. I read a little bit of the story and I realized, like, oh my goodness, I have to read this because this is really interesting. Other people will be joining me soon, so expect more voices and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just gonna start reading the story and see where this goes. I've also posted this fan fiction in Rayman's own forums, but I decided to also post it here as there seems to be more life in here. For those who don't know, this was made with thought. If I were the lead Zinger of Rayman 4, this is what it would look like in mine. I must also note for the new readers that you must know the stories of all the previous Rayman games in order to understand this. This tale is planned to have 14 chapters in it. So here he is. Yeah. Hello, May. How's it going?
So how's it going?
We're doing good. So I'm just getting started reading the story. I don't know if I'll upload it to YouTube or not. Probably will, but yeah, this is just for in case anyone misses
Do,
the story.
well, Make the thumbnail something like the origin of Professor Barranco.
The origin of Professor Barranco.
For free, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, because the name of the story is called The Culture Revolution, I'm just thinking like paste Rayman's face in some like historical art or something.
Yeah, I feel like personally it would attract more people like if you did like some kind of weird clickbait ass thing with the Barranco free origin. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, man, if I were to do clickbait though, I would probably say something like the socio-political story of Rayman or something like that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know, just trying to be funny. But yeah, I'm just gonna mute for now. But yeah, you can continue reading.
So let's get started with Rayman, the Culture Revolution. Chapter 1, The World Gone Mad. Oh, everyone around me is crazy. Do you have any questions? The creature let his eyes to watch every sixth participant around the table, although he didn't see much from them since only 2 candles on that long table lighted the dark hall. Well then, get more candles. He could have used his dark vision ability, but he knew it wasn't fair for those who wouldn't use. Oh, okay. Everyone else in this hall could only see his long, grayish, skeleton-like hands with 5 fingers. Yes, said a male creature with brass-like voice whose gigantic, white-gloved arms hovered on the middle air. Wait, white-gloved arms? Like the gloves go all the way up to his forearm or something? Why we have to keep these
This
meetings
is
in total
some.
darkness.
Can I just say that's some weird ass character design?
Yeah.
This is
um,
me.
Also, I think they were saying mid-air, but they call it middle air. Like, the skeleton-handed creature was surprised that no one has asked that question before. Wait, the question is why we had to keep these meetings in total darkness? They're just now asking that. They must have watched too many movies about secret societies and their government wasn't even secret. Before the creature could answer, his second-in-command answered for him. Okay. Electricity would take some time to work. Replacing the magic is quite a lengthy process, she said, waving her small green hands. That is correct, said the 5-fingered creature. Now, does anyone have any questions about our plan? What about the heart of the world? Asked a short man with a rusted metallic voice. I think that's Razorbeard. Shall we blow it or what? That would be completely unnecessary. Our army is 5 times larger than theirs, so conquering the Glade of Dreams does not require any dirty tricks. That reminds me about you two. The leader of this mysterious group pointed his finger at the short man and a large, gray-furred creature who was sitting next to the short man. You will not take anyone as slaves, replied the short man. Or, said the leader, pointing at the large creature. Gladiators, replied the large creature. The skeleton-handed creature was a little annoyed that he had to remind these two about correct treatment towards people. He, however, believed that they would eventually learn. After all, he had created them to be better than that. Well, if everything is clear, we should go to prepare. The meeting has ended, he said, and hit the table with his fist. Okay, so wait, what did I even talk about in this meeting? I'm a little lost right now. So
Yeah,
like,
I think this does not make any sense. I'm sorry. It's like they're trying to pretend to be a shadow government.
I guess. I don't know. I'm
I
really
don't know.
curious who the skeleton five-fingered character is. Rayman was watching at his concerned reflection in the pond. This was one of those many moments in his life when he had nothing to do. For some odd reason, it didn't bother him as much as it should bother. Maybe he just didn't anymore need excitement to feel alive. Was he becoming old? What? I'm sorry? Are we getting Rayman midlife crisis arc? Rayman chuckled to this thought as he watched his reflection. There were no signs of elder people, no wrinkles or gray hairs. There's like no old people? Is that what they're saying? Perhaps he was just getting mature. Can you blame him? He has saved this world at least 3 times. First Robo-Pirates, then Hoodlums, then Rabbids. I'm pretty sure there's something that happened before
Wait,
Robo-Pirates.
what? Huh?
Yeah.
What? Wait, where's Mr. Dark?
Yeah.
This person just does not like Mr. Dark. What?
He even had to go to that weird planet called Earth to stop Rabbit's plans. So wait, like, wouldn't that make it 4 times then? Because that's including Raving Rabbits too. He has always had to do the difficult parts. Rayman smiled to his reflection when he remembered what his best friend Globox said during the Hoodlum incident. I mean, come on. Every time world needs saving, nobody is around. Good thing that we are. Yes. Good thing that they were.
Does he ever say that?
Yeah, don't you remember that
Does he
famous
ever say
line
that?
from Rayman 3? Rayman turned to watch Globox, who was lying under a tree. So, what shall we do today? Rayman asked. Globox turned to watch his best friend with tired look. I don't know. Perhaps we could just rest today. Handing over 100 teenagers can be quite exhausting. That's right. Globox's children were growing up. 1/5 of his 650 children had opinion differences with their parents. Rayman didn't want to give up. He hadn't become tired to all adventures, just to those which he had to do when the world was in danger. Okay, but what does that have to do with Globox's children? This is just a weird aside. If you feel family life who's speaking right now? If you feel family life exhausting, maybe we could go to look unknown places that are not marked on the map of the Glade of Dreams to get new experiences. I guess that was Rayman talking. Thanks, Globox replied. But raising these teenagers is enough adventure for me. Rayman felt sorry for his old friend. He didn't have any kids, and he definitely didn't want any after he saw... Wait! He definitely didn't want any after he saw one-word fight between Globox and his oldest son. Damn, okay. Maybe it's just an unwanted but necessary process to become independent. Globox thought Rayman's words. Wait, who's speaking this? Meh, maybe you're right, but still, I just want to rest. There's too much tension in adventuring, you know. I only adventure when the world is in danger. Rayman accepted it, but he had an other motivation than getting experiences. His past. The problem was that the earliest memories of his past were from 2 years or so before the robot pirates attacked. Although he had a feeling that everything used to be in 2D. What? What?
2D. What? Like, did he like just suddenly, like, after the first Rayman game, did he just suddenly like pop out? Did everything just suddenly pop out into 3D? What?
Yeah, I guess they're saying that like he doesn't remember his first adventure before Rayman 2.
It's like when people say, when people say, like, when the world was black and white.
Yeah.
And like something like that, before the technology was good enough to show the world how it was.
He knew he wasn't a creation of Polycus, he was the only one who hadn't any limbs. His parts just hovered on the air. I mean, that's not really true, but okay. Maybe Polycus would have some answers, but he had disappeared mysteriously right before Hoodlum's arrival, just like his muscle friend Clark, or Lee. Oh, how much he missed her. Oh, how much I have missed this world. Those trees and plants, this whole forest. The Glade of Dreams hasn't changed at all during my imprisonment. Wait, what? Huh? Wait, is this a different character? Is this a different narrator? What? The Glade of Dreams hasn't changed at all during my imprisonment. But I can't just stop to look at the landscape. Sergway and his army of rabbits will go through the portal at any minute. I have to get to the Fairy Council and warn them. Have to run. But it's so hard to run with a dress on. Is that Rayman and Globox? They can help. They always can.
Who is this person? Who's talking? Who's talking?
I don't know. Okay, so like, I guess we have like different narrators in this story. That was very strange. Like, I think I read up to this point, and I was initially confused when I read, but it's so hard to run with a dress on, and I was like, wait, is Rayman running with a dress? And I was like, no, this is a different character. Wait, what?
There's no indication when someone is talking. Like, what?
Rayman woke up from his thoughts when he saw Lee rushing through bushes. He's shocked from Lee's sudden and unexpected appearance and was able to say or do nothing when Lee fell to his arms. She fell to Rayman's arms, okay. She was breathing insanely with a look of ultimate fear in her eyes. She wore a weird piece of red clothing Rayman had never seen before. It looked like much a robe. Oh my gosh, this writing. Is that Lee? Said Globox, stating the obvious. Globox, Rayman, so good to see, said Lee, and tried to calm her breath. The Glade of Dreams is in danger. Those were words that got Rayman's mind back on track. What have happened? He asked. Later, Lee replied. I will tell everything once we get to the Fairy Council. Rayman nodded and asked Globox to help him to carry exhausted Lee. Suddenly, Rayman started to feel weird tickling feeling in his arms. It's like, oh, I'm feeling this weird tickling feeling because I have no arms. What? Finally, okay, I guess this is a different narrator. Finally, I would be victorious. The Glade of Dreams will never expect an attack by their old and new enemies from every direction. Rabbits were coming for the portal in Bog of Murk. Robo-pirates aided by anti-tunes and culture cops were coming from the air. What the fuck is culture cops? What?
What? Culture cops? Like the fun police?
The fun police?
Like, the only thing I can think of when I hear culture police is that gosh dang online freaking subculture bullshit thing. I don't even want to say it with the name of it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess this is the titular culture revolution this story is named. All I have to do is to get hoodlums to attack from the inside. I have to concentrate. It is so amusing that my armies had fought against Rayman for many times, but they never had any idea who the real mastermind behind those attacks was. I have not even met Rayman. Well, part of me has not met Rayman. I must concentrate my every thought in Rayman. I have done this trick before, but then Rayman was sleeping, so it was easier. I must target all my godly mental powers on the hands of Rayman. Okay, so I guess this is the true villain of the Rayman franchise. He's responsible for everything.
My gosh, this is getting very intriguing.
It's getting very ambitious. Suddenly, Rayman's hands fell off. They started to run towards the forest on their fingers. Lee, who just fell because handless Rayman was unable to carry her, yelled, "Stop them before..." Lee couldn't finish her sentence, where Rayman's hands released a shot of energy that knocked Rayman a glow box. That gave them enough time to run out of reach. Lee was terrified. "No! Now nothing could stop them! Nothing!" "Stop who?" Rayman asked while they were all raising themselves up. A swarm of black creatures flew from the deep of the forest. The swarm stopped next to Rayman, Glowbox, and Lee. Now they saw that they were black lums. One of them flew forward and watched the three with its mean eyes. "I don't recognize you," he said, pointing at Lee. "But I remember you two more than I want to." "Andre!" yelled Rayman angrily. "Andre!" yelled Glowbox happily. "You must be kidding, right?" said Lee angrily at Glowbox. "As much as I like to chat, me and my brothers have lots of things to do. By the way, Rayman, thanks to your hands, it feels so good to be normal again." Oh, okay, so I guess the hands scared a red lum. Okay.
Again,
Again.
again.
After saying this, Andre flew off with a swarm of black lums, laughing maniacally. When Rayman looked after them to the sky, he saw more worrying things. Two big robo-pirate ships, and even more, he heard much feared and hated scream from the forest. "Dah!" This just wasn't his day. Surprise came when an army of fairies and teens came from opposite direction and attacked the coming rabbits. Rayman, Glowbox, and Lee watched this chaos for a while. How they knew there was an attack, Lee wondered. "Polycus told me," said a voice behind them. There was a long Teensy, 3 times longer than normal. He had a royal green-purple robe and golden crown on his head with long gray hair. "Who are you?" asked Lee. "Oh, this is Lee," said Rayman, confused. Wait, what? What? "Who are you?" asked Lee. "Oh, this is Lee."
Wait, what? Okay, can I just say something absolutely stupid?
Yeah.
I know that this is probably just some kid writing this down, and it's obvious. Either English is not their first language, or they just haven't learned everything. But like, what's if something like this was written today, I would have assumed it was made by ChatGPT. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's so the wording and everything is just so all over the place and confusing.
Yeah, it's just constantly changing narrators, the usage of words is off, yeah. "Oh, this is Lee," said Rayman, confused. "Lee, this is At Miozo, the king of Teensies." At Miozo. Couple of months ago, Teensies finally seemed to remember who their king was. Atbiazo had came confused to the Fairy Council and told that he was imprisoned by some mysterious dark force. Surprisingly, many Teensies agreed that their long-lost king was found. I do like the idea that, like, this King Teensies just happened to be very long. It's like the tallest from Invader Zim. "Lee?" Atami also said, surprised. "I am glad you are here. We may talk later, but let us talk about the ongoing battle around us." Indeed, a huge battle between fairies, teensies, hoodlums, and rabbits was around them. Paracus sent me a message last night. He is apparently a prisoner of the same dark force as I was. He informed that there is a portal in the Bog of Murk, which is used to let the forces to come from another world. Rayman, he told that you should go there and close. Where are your arms? He just is now noticing, like, where are your arms, Rayman? Before Rayman could answer, Aunt Miozo yelled, Robo-Pirates! I have to go to help. Lee, I need you to aid me. He and confused Lee ran in the middle of fight. Rayman and Globox watched at each other's. What shall I do? Asked Globox, terrified. You could do that rain dance, right? Rayman replied. Globox nodded and disappeared to the crowd. Oh, okay, we're not even getting the dance. Rayman watched when his old enemies fought against his friends, and no one paid any attention to him. Then came new enemies didn't recognize, but they looked oddly familiar. Small blue creatures with white hair and red shoes, some of his size which had weird yellow-brown hats and robes. Like him, their torsos, hands, and heads hovered on the air, except with blue creatures whose head and torso were the same thing. Okay. Too many things happened in the same time. Rayman felt himself completely powerless, and he fell to his non-existent knees. Okay, I do like that. That's funny.
That's great. That's great. That's great. There's a few jokes here that I do like. It's like there's so much like jumbled up like story and words, but then when you hear like a joke, you just can't help but laugh.
Yeah. The whole world
Yeah.
has gone completely mad! He yelled and raised his look to the sky. Mad! What? Oh shit. Rayman is losing it. Instantly, he realized how dramatic his cry of pain would have been if he just had his hands. Rayman stood up and looked wildly around him. He was desperate to find his hands and asked from random fighters, Does anyone know where my hands are? No, they replied and continued their fight. It hurts, doesn't it? Said a familiar rusty voice behind him. Rayman knew instantly who was behind him, so turning to look would have been unnecessary, but he wanted to see had Razorbeard changed at all during these years. No, same clothing and appearance, although he seemed to smile? What hurts? Rayman asked tiredly. Nothing surprised him anymore. When your army falls around you, when you had woken up Polygus and he started to destroy my army, I knew instantly my plan would become busted. For a second, I even feared how low my chances to escape were. But don't worry, I won't fight you. You're not the greatest threat right now. I won't get you, that is for sure. But before I do that, I must find your hands. I saw some hands running towards the Bog of Murk. Were they yours? Rayman said nothing when he grimly walked past his old enemies. You're welcome, Razorbeard yelled cheerfully. But Razorbeard didn't have any intentions to stay there fighting. He would follow in Rayman's trail and watch his utter defeat. Rayman had seen so much chaos during his run in Bog of Murk. He had seen the enemy forces taking prisoners and causing havoc. He even had his own enemy, Sergway, and some rabbits beating Jano, the guardian of the Cave of Bad Dreams. Normally he would have helped, but he just couldn't without his arms. Well, help Jano? Okay. But now, he had reached the portal in Bog of Murk. He had used this portal before when he fought Begoniacs during Hoodlum Incident. The portal seemed highly aggressive and radiated white lightning. Something powerful was coming out. Rayman saw his hands in front of portal. They didn't seem to notice him. Last time this happened, his hands attached him voluntarily, so he hoped nothing would have changed from those times. Fight against his own hands felt too weird to imagine. Then something stepped out of the portal. His mere appearance made Rayman to shiver. The creature wasn't very high, perhaps the size of a canarin, but his other features made him threatening. His blue, sleeveless robe revealed his long, skeleton-like arms, which both had 5 razor-sharp fingers on them. He had a pitch-black, mouthless head with 2 yellow, red-pupilled eyes. On his head was a bronze tiara with 8 spikes, which made it look like a twisted son of evil. Rayman could feel this creature's godly power. "Rayman," the creature spoke, "the champion of gods, we meet at last." Rayman was speechless in front of this divine might. So speechless, in fact, he didn't even notice that his hands were attached back to him. "I am Nellicus," the creature continued, "who shall soon be the god of everything." "Not this world, you evil creature!" Rayman yelled to Nellicus and prepared to fight. Rayman, however, hesitated. Nellicus actually seemed insulted. "I am not evil," he said with rage in his voice, but he almost instantly calm. "That was immature from me. My apologies. You just think I am evil because my army has come to conquer your world and your main objective is to protect it. But believe me, this is for your own good." "Do you know that you just revealed a major weakness of yourself?" Rayman mocked. "That was highly amateurish move and reduces your chances in our battle." What? Suddenly, Nellicus moved his hand and Rayman's own hand hit him. Nellicus mocked back. "Why did you hit yourself?" Rayman walked dizzily around. Behind him he saw Razorbeard, Andre, and Sergey watching quietly this humiliating show. Oh, I'm just realizing that I think they just have Sergey here to be like the big villain representing the rabbits, because like I'm assuming the author may not know who Jabbit is. Or it just could be a case of like, you know, he just want to have characters that are in the games.
Yeah, either he did, either they didn't know about Jabbit. But like, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think Jabbit was actually that much known until like the history of Rayman book.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's when like they specifically like show that concept art and mention by name and stuff.
Yeah.
I think.
And this story was first written in like 2009, so this was like pre-Origins.
Yeah, this was pre-UBR completely. Like it's kind of crazy to think about.
I love how this setup right now is that like, oh yeah, every bad guy is back. We got the robot pirates, we got the hoodlums, we got the rabbits. It's like the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny, Rayman edition.
Yeah, this is this is the reason. That's obviously the reason why people like Smash Bros. Because it combines every freaking character. It's for the ultimate battle. So it's like having fan fiction that's like that. Yeah. I mean, that's been a trope. I think it's just generally been like an internet trope in fandoms for a long time. Having like an ultimate battle between their favorite characters.
Oh yeah, definitely. There is much to be done before the complete victory of culture can be achieved, said Nellicus ruthlessly. Right now, I can use you as my hands, my legs, and my eyes, but you must learn to take from my point of view before I can use you as my mind. Holy shit. Nellicus held his fist in air, and Rayman's fist was becoming full of energy. This happened so easy, it almost makes me cry, said Razorbeard. This was the last thing Rayman heard before his powered fist knocked him unconscious. I'm so sorry, Rayman. I'm so sorry. I would have wanted to help you, but I couldn't risk it. We both might have ended as Nellicus prisoners. It is necessary that at least one of us has a chance to free all. But the way Nellicus and your old enemies treated you, I'm so sorry. Nellicus is pure evil, even if he thinks otherwise. Luckily, I have recovered my powers back. I have to change myself into an energy ball and follow them from a distance. Don't worry, Rayman. I'm right near you. Is this Polycus speaking?
For some reason, I thought a glow box turned into an energy ball.
Glowbox, this is why you shouldn't eat silver lumps. It will do that to you. The 4 characters looked at Rayman's motionless body. I've counted that taking over this planet just took 2 hours and 40 minutes, said Sergey. Okay, I guess this is Sergey. We beat the previous record, 7 hours. You dope, Razorbeard said. That was just a computer game. Now, Razorbeard, Nelicus scolded.
Wow. What do you mean that was just a computer? Are they trying? Like, they're trying to break the fourth wall here, while also, what?
I don't know what's going on.
Like the only consistent thing now, like okay, so for what I'm getting of the story so far is like the villains had some kind of meeting on how to take over the Glade of Dreams. Then I guess maybe Snook's guy showed up, or something, and then they had and then the heroes were talking and stuff, and they saw Lee and they looked at a fairy council or something, and then and then the Snokus guy showed up with it's so hard
It,
to kind of get a
yeah.
synopsis of the
I can
so hard.
appreciate the ambition of this story. Like, I get what the story is trying
Yeah.
to do. Like, it's like, oh yeah, we're trying to tie all these games together into a single narrative. We're providing explanations as to why Lee wasn't in Rayman 3 because she was a prisoner or something. But it's like, it's so chaotic. It's so dense. It's like really hard for me to truly get a grasp at what's the core of the narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem to really just straight up ignore Rayman 1 entirely almost. Like, they talked about how Lee has, been imprisoned and everything, but what about Batilla?
Yeah, what about
You
her?
know,
Hello.
Hey. So, hey, Shy Guy. So to give context of what I'm reading, Showen was doing some research on, like, what is the earliest findings of Professor Barranco 3 he could find. This story is called Rayman: The Culture Revolution, and it has like every bad guy except for Mr. Dark and like every character in Rayman 1, and there's a new character named Neligus who is like
Calicus.
yeah, who's basically doing this whole culture revolution thing, I guess.
wait, I just realized Nullicus. It's just evil Policus.
Oh my god, you're right.
No, it's Nullicus, Policus. Oh my fucking god! How do we not realize that before?
Oh
Of
no,
course.
It's the
Nullicus.
devil! It's the devil!
it's the devil.
No, not the guy with the horns and stuff, right?
Oh no,
we're
actually,
talking about this.
actually, early in the story, like a bunch of rabbits were fighting. Yeah, Sergey and some rabbits were beating Jano, and Rayman was like, "Oh, I really wanted to help Jano, but I can't because I don't have my hands." By the way, the story is like pre-Rayman Origins, so we obviously don't have that whole Jano backstory yet at that point.
Played the Rayman games in a bit of a short bit. Who's Jano?
Jano is the Mike Wazowski looking character with the cats.
Yeah, Mike Wazowski. I was gonna say it's just Mike Wazowski. It's the magician. It's Mike Wazowski with a top hat and a skeleton arms.
Yeah.
The guy from the Cave of Bad Dreams, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
That's his name.
Jano. Yeah, Jano.
Now, Razorbeard, Nelicus scolded. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. Andre was confused. So, who are you? And what is a computer game? Oh, Andre, the leader of hoodlums, Nelicus said. These are Admiral Razorbeard, the leader of Robo-Pirates, and Sergey, the leader of Rabbits. I am Nelicus, the leader of everyone. Yo! So you're a god or something? Yes, I am also the reason of your existence. As for your second question, you will get it answered once we have stepped through this portal to our world. Now, are you sure that every single inhabitant in the Glade of Dreams is out of here? Positive, said Razorbeard. All 2 ships are full. Excellent, replied Analogous. Razorbeard, Go to prepare the cosmic vacuums. Sergway, once we have gone through in form to the third clone of Professor Barranco, that we have arrived.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Professor Barranco 3 made his appearance in this.
Yeah, we did it.
I will just say, Showen did say that this is like this. He said it as it's the second earliest mention,
Second
which
earliest.
means
Yeah.
yeah, because the first one is apparently like in a type of rabbits page
Yeah.
on the wiki,
So,
and that was removed.
okay, so I'm guessing like the author of the story saw this Professor Barranco 3 and it's like, I'm including every character from Rayman Raving Rabbids anyway. I better include him, not knowing any better.
Oh no!
And you fool! You have no idea what you started.
You fool. I like how Nelicus is like, Razorbeard, go to prepare the cosmic vacuums. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
What's a cosmic?
Um,
What? Did Polycus accidentally just fart and that just became like the ripple in time or something like that?
Oh man.
what is
Nelicus took Rayman gently on his arms and carried him through the portal. Andre, Sergway, and a small ball of energy that no one noticed followed him. Razorbeard has done this so many times, it was becoming tiring. Luckily, the mission to collect all planets that had life was nearly done. He gave the command and his ship revealed both of its huge cannons. He commanded them to shoot. The Glider
what?
Dreams popped like a huge balloon filled with sand. Yo! What?
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 the fuck?
Next command
So-
ball of the cosmic dust was vacuumed by his robot pirate ship. Both ships moved towards a huge star at a distance. They just fucking destroyed the Glider Dreams.
What the hell?
What?
Is
Just like let me reread that on my end. Like wait, okay, so Razorbeard has done this so many times it was becoming tiring. Luckily, their mission to collect all planets that had life was nearly done. He gave the command, and his ship revealed both of its huge cannons. He commanded them to shoot. Okay, the Glare Dreams pop like a huge balloon. Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Wait,
oh,
are you saying was like this ship like above the glade, like above the planet or something?
I
And
guess,
it just
yeah.
blew it up with like 2 cannons or whatever. Like what? What?
if this ship was in Rayman 2, then why didn't they just use this shit? So, a thing I want to say is that, so, are they trying to, like, do some sort of elaborate, like, backstory for Rayman Raving Rabbids 2? Like,
No,
the glade is...
no,
the glade is destroyed!
no,
the glade
the
is destroyed!
The events of Raving Rabbids 2 was actually mentioned at the beginning of this
Oh.
chapter. Where it was like Rayman that went through so many adventures. He even went on this strange planet called Earth to fight the rabbits.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense now. Okay, never mind.
God. But yeah, that was chapter 1 of the story. Yeah.
How many chapters are there?
So I should note that the story is not actually finished. There's 7 chapters to this fanfiction, and the author said that they were planning to write 14 chapters.
So,
Is there more pages?
No,
Is there any other
it's
pages?
only 1 page right here. I like how this guy from 2016 said, "Can I please write the upcoming parts?" Like 5 years after the fact. But yeah, that was chapter 1. There's a lot. I guess I'll try my best to recap what happened. So, like, we are introduced to this new villain named Nelicus, who he says he's the god of everything. Rayman was... I think Rayman was going through a bit of a midlife crisis. Globox is dealing with his children, where 1/5 of his children are becoming teenagers. Lee the Fairy was actually a prisoner of Nelicus, and that's why she wasn't in Rayman 3. but she escaped, and she was like, Rayman, you must help me or something. And then there's this whole fucking battle between like the teensies and the fairies, and versus like the hoodlums and the robot pirates and the rabbids. Rayman's hands left him because of Nalicus gaining control of them. He went to the Bog of Murk, where he was about to help Jano because he was getting his ass beat by the rabbids. And then Nalicus introduced himself, took control of Rayman's fists, and basically Rayman's fist punched him in the face, I guess, and he got unconscious. And then Nalicus and all the villains, Sans, Mr. Dark, are having a meeting about what they should do. And then Razorbeard just fucking destroys the Glade of Dreams. Like, that was just the first chapter. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know what. Wow, that just a lot happened in just one chapter. Holy shit!
See,
And I missed most of it.
God, see, the thing about this is that, you know, I'm laughing at this, but like, I genuinely love the fact that Shonen, you know, found this story in his research, because I think it's really important, rediscover these ancient stories, because, you know, this is a story from 2009. It's fucking old at this point, and it's like, there's some gems in this story. Like, I feel like more people should know about this story because it's so fascinating. That's something I love to do on the internet, is just find really old fan fiction and just find shit like this. It's
Yeah, actually, I don't know if you remember, Rift. Remember when I was like using the Wayback Machine to go to like the old Rayman Zone forums?
yeah.
and like in order to find the actual like origin of Barranco for the name, and then we found out that he was mentioned as a Rabbit leader around the time of Raven Rabbids 2's release.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of want to look at it again just to see like if there's anything I missed, and just to see if I can remember, like recall anything else. Because like I thought that'd be fun to record as well. Actually, I feel like you could also like do that as well. Because like I feel like that'll be a very fun thing as a video.
Oh
like
yeah,
this.
definitely. We're already starting off on a pretty high note with the destruction of the planet. And
Is it?
Yeah.
Something. Can I just sort of say this before we continue? Is that I just feel like that a lot of things nowadays, it feels like it's sort of lost that charm. Like fan fiction nowadays, I've not actually read a lot of fan fiction in my time, but sometimes when you see stuff like this, it just sort of lights a spark in you. Like you're not laughing like both. It's like you're laughing at the story, but not in like a mean way, like you're trying to critique it or saying it's terrible. But you're just sort of laughing at it because the creator of said story had such like all of these different ideas that you would never expect like the official stuff to go for. It's like,
I think there's something to be
it's
said
genuinely
about
interesting.
how, like, because the story was before Rayman Origins, like, it's obviously not considering the events of that game because it hasn't existed yet. So we're basically seeing, like, a different perspective here of, like, yeah, like, Rayman 2, 3, and Raving Rabbids were, like, the most relevant Rayman games, and I want to make a story about those games.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm gonna start reading Chapter 2, The Thrilling Escape. Ooh, you know, we had like a great escape. This is the thrilling escape.
Oh,
Ooh.
the actual sequel, the real Rayman sequel.
Really escalating right here.
Yeah. Also, hello. Chapter 2, The Thrilling Escape. Rayman woke up, but he still saw nothing but darkness. Rayman tried to move, but he was lightly tied on some chair. He couldn't even move his head. He felt that something was on his head that prevented him from seeing the surroundings. Suddenly, in front of his eyes, appeared a woman standing in a white room. In white room? So wait, he saw nothing but darkness, but I guess the woman is in a white room. So is this like a different room? Okay.
Is he in like what was it? Is he in the Velvet Room from Persona 3 or something?
About
Hey,
his size Oh, what was that?
Since you're recording, I guess I should introduce myself. Hi, I'm Juster Radical. I exist. Alright, go on.
Alright, cool. You know, I'm already getting like a vibe from Nanagus about him saying like he wants to create culture or something. Like I'm getting the impression that he is like a supremacist, and that's what the culture revolution is about. So this story could go into some really interesting places.
Yeah.
Alright, so she was about his size and wore a black jacket and trousers made of some fine material Rayman wasn't familiar with. She had long white hair that matched perfectly with her emerald green skin. She looked young and well-remained. The only odd feature was her unusually large nose, which resembled a plum? Oh. Well met, citizen, said the woman, smiling warmly. My name is... Dirana? I'll go with Dirana.
Aria? Oh, okay.
Dirana? Yeah. My name is Dirana, and I will be your guide to the strange world you have just stepped in. First, I want to know, demanded Rayman, but Dirana continued before he could finish his sentence. Before we start, I would like to inform that this is pre-recorded, which means that I am not physically present and therefore unable to answer your questions. If you feel yourself hungry or thirsty, or you have to use bathroom, ask for the nearby guards. But they are not answering questions. I am.
Uh-huh.
Wait, what?
Damn.
She said that I am not physically present and therefore unable to answer your questions. But they are not answering the questions. I am. Okay.
I assume they're only going to be answering very specific questions and not every question or
Okay.
something like
This is-
that.
Rayman didn't know. Wait, Rayman didn't know what pre-recorded meant, but he did understand that the woman had just given him a plan to escape. He does not know what pre-recorded mean. What?
I mean, what technology exists in Rayman's world? That's the thing.
Well, I'm sure there's cameras in the Rayman world, considering Picture City exists. You know, and the photographer. The photographer is a character.
Does the story have elements from Rayman 1? Because, like...
Well, the story is establishing that, like, apparently the events of Rayman 1 are, like, a blur in Rayman's mind. Like, he doesn't exactly remember what happens. It was, like... And the story described it as... He did remember that at one point everything looked more 2D, which is very strange.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he doesn't know what pre-recorded is. He forgot.
Yeah. Like, to be fair, like, the Rayman world did get a little more fantastical after Rayman 1. You know, it's Rayman 1 that had, like, a food world and a picture world and stuff, so... I don't know.
Yeah.
He would ask permission to go to bathroom. Something I've noticed about the story, I love how whenever they said the character goes to this place, they don't describe it as... This character wants to go to the place. They describe it as character wants to go to place. It's like he would ask permission to go to bathroom. He would ask permission to go to bathroom, and then he would beat the guards, beat the guard or guards, and try to get out of this place. But then Dirana continues sharply. I like how he said he would beat the guard or guards. Like he's not sure if it's like singular or plural. However, if you are a Raymanian, you are not allowed to use bathroom. Oh no! We are quite aware that your system allows you to change your food and drink straight to energy, and that your left-off energy goes out when you breathe, so you're not allowed to use bathroom in case of possible attempts to escape. What?
I just got a big lore dump.
I'm
Just to let you know, we are currently recording, so...
Yeah. Can you just reread that?
Okay, so to reread it, we are quite aware that your system allows you to change your food and drink straight to energy, and that your left-off energy goes out when you breathe, so you're not allowed to use bathroom in case of possible attempts to escape.
So, so, so.
Oh, what
Sorry,
I'm
so
getting at-
I'm. Uh, are they trying to explain away like the whole no neck thing?
I,
Like, are they trying to
I think they're
explain
just trying to
away?
explain why Rayman can't shit. Like,
or piss,
I guess.
which is very much false. Have you seen
Oh.
the advertisements for Rayman 3?
Even if
Yeah.
you're not a Raymanian, all arrangements are made to make your escape practically impossible. For those who want to know, if Raymanians do not need to use bathroom, then how on what? Then how on earth they reproduce? For the sake of
What?
little children, I'm not going to answer that, not even during these sessions.
God
Good.
damn it, we need to know.
What?
I don't care if this gets the video taken down. I need to know.
Rayman couldn't help but to be impressed how his captors have thought every single detail. But what
Seriously, why
really
did they
interested
bring that
him
up?
was a mention about Raymanians. It meant that he had finally come to a place where others are like him. Would she mean those that he saw on the Glade of Dreams? The only thing he knew
Yeah.
was that Plan A would be unusable. So he had to do Plan B. Listen this Diorana character and hope that something occurs. Diorana continued her speech with her usual cheerfulness and warmness. Okay, like, I've joked in the past about like what would like a family-friendly Rayman movie would be about, and I was thinking like, oh, Rayman discovers a land that are full of people like him, and he goes into a crisis or whatever. I feel like the story is kind of going in this direction of like, wait, there are other people like me? What? If you are here, it means that you did not voluntarily accept the new system. It is a quite normal phenomenon called culture shock. I am here to help you to get rid of this sadly common mental disease. Whoa.
Mental disease? Culture shock?
The first
The
lesson
scene.
is what is culture? What is what?
You're not
What?
conforming to society. You have a literal mental illness.
What is culture?
Wait.
At
There's
least
a
that's what
huge
I'm
shift
getting at.
in everything. Sorry, there's a huge shift in everything now. What is happening?
Oh,
Okay, so the culture thing is pulling up like I am here to help you get rid of this sadly common mental disease. Like, are the villains unironically like we are here to remove the woke mind virus away from you or something? Like, oh my god,
Oh my
that
god.
was the word
I li-
Rayman wanted to know. He remembered that Nalicus told about the complete victory of culture. Was this culture
Oh,
some kind of
he's gone.
dark force? There is a complex explanation, but basically it means the same as art. Now, you must have heard about art. Your world must have had some ancient ruins where were lots of paintings on the walls. That was true. Rayman remembered his trip to the desert of the Canaran during Hoodlum's invasion. In their caves were countless of wall paintings about fights between Canarans and Teensies.
Aw.
Rayman, however, felt worried because Diana had spoken about his world in past tense. Oh yeah, that's right. The world is destroyed.
damn! I forgot. I didn't read chapter 1, so I just joined, so I have no idea what is happening.
The end of chapter 1 had the Glade of Dreams destroyed completely.
Ah, damn.
But art is even more than just paintings and tremendous building. There are also music, poetry, movies, video games, and some other forms of art. I will tell more about them in future lessons. Suddenly, Rayman heard a loud noise, but Diorana continued her speech like nothing had happened. It sounded like an exploding robo-pirate. Lesson 2, How to be a good citizen. Diorana's voice broke when Rayman's helmet was taken off his head. Rayman couldn't help but smile when he saw Lee's face. If Plan A fails, Plan B will always work. Yeah.
Wait, what exactly? Wait, I've been actually away for like a minute. What happened so far?
So, okay, so we read this part of the story where this Diana character, who is a new character, she says something like, "I'm here to help get rid of this sadly common mental disease of culture shock" or something, and like, considering when it's happened, it gives me the impression of like, oh god, are these villains like unironically the type of people to say we're here to get rid of the woke mind virus or something like that?
Yeah.
Is actually another. Can I say?
Yeah.
I actually had some feeling that something like this was gonna happen. I don't know why, but I did.
I mean, when you read a story called Rayman, The Culture Revolution, you get a feeling something like this would happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
So are they literally trying to convert them to their culture forcefully?
I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. It seems that Rayman is watching the informative movie of Diorana. She is so warm and cheerful that Rayman will definitely become a good citizen. And she finally got that electricity fix. No wonder Diorana is my second in command. Okay, so this is a different narrator again. Okay, god, that's fucking confusing. Luckily, I do not need to watch Rayman, so I could concentrate on listening to this piece of music. We should decide, is fusion jazz art or not? Fusion jazz? Fusion jazz? Like jazz fusion? What?
I think it's a different musical genre, but I don't know. Let me actually.
I mean, there is jazz fusion. That's a thing. But is
I've heard it's
fusion
pretty
jazz
good.
a thing? Or I don't know.
No. Oh no, I've literally just typed it up on Google. Literally just come up as jazz fusion. So
I
I
assume
don't
it's
think it is.
I shall definitely propose that this piece of trash should be destroyed. I mean, what is wrong with these Earthlings? They had tremendous jazz music in 50, 40, and 30 years ago, like the enchanting and playful melodies of the masters like Louis Armstrong and David Brubeck. Then something went wrong, and most of the jazz music turned into a weird finger dancing that everybody forgets after they have heard it. This is a concerning trend that has also happened in many other art definition projects. All Hollywood movies of John Woo, all Disney movies after Tarzan, that game series, which all later sequels are minigame collections instead of platformers. With
God damn
technical
it.
talent, they try to hide the fact that they have nothing to say. Well,
And I just say this.
yeah.
Sorry, it's like now this feels like a rant going on about everything back then used to be so much better. I was born in the wrong generation.
Also, can I just say, I genuinely didn't think a Rayman fanfic would mention Louis Armstrong. Like, what the hell?
what is
okay.
happening?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I had to go again for another 2 minutes.
Man,
That's fine.
you will not last if you keep like this story keeps changing on a dime.
What can anyone explain what happened like in the last 2 minutes?
Okay, so what's going on is we have a different narrator again. I'm assuming it's a part of the culture squad or something, and they were just going on a rant about how art over the years have turned to shit. They were like, oh man, jazz music was so good 50 or so years ago, and now it's shit. Oh man, the video games have become minigame collections instead of platformers, which, you know, is very topical considering the writing of the story.
What? Why does this feel like it's turning into a boomer the story?
I think Nellicus is a boomer. We just have to accept that.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny.
With technical talent, they try to hide the fact that they have nothing to say. Well, the sooner we get the culture life of Earth under our control, the better for them. What is going... Lee! So that is where she disappeared from the fashion show of her. What the fuck is happening? Who's speaking?
Is Rayman talking again, or
No, it's not
there's
Lee.
no
It's not Rayman. Like, the story is just changing narrators, and it does not make it clear when they've changed it or who's speaking right now. Like, holy shit.
I'm a bit lost right now. What? So we went from the Glade of Dreams being blown up to something that would be almost described as like we are trying to disaffect you of the woke mind virus to now just a full-on rant about how old things are better than the new stuff. These sorts of topics feel like that they're still. Oh my god, nothing's changed since this was up. Let's be honest here.
I find this sentence
Honestly, I'm
really
not entirely
fascinating.
sure.
I find this sentence fascinating where to say, well, the sooner we get the cultural life of Earth under our control, the better for them. So basically their motivation is they want to take control of other people's cultures so they could make what they perceive as better art or something. Which, like, I feel like that's just straight up fascist. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
This-
this is just fascism. What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is straight.
Very
Yeah.
topical right now. I feel like we probably shouldn't be reading this, but if you want to continue, go ahead.
I mean,
No,
it's a
let's read
Rayman
it.
story. I'm gonna keep reading. All 7 participants of the meeting stopped listening to music when they saw their leader watching furiously at front of him. At front of him? What is the matter, Natagus?
At front of him.
What is the matter, Natagus? Diorana asked concerned. After a moment of silence, Natagus said calmly, Mr. Sachs! Yo! What's...
What?
Wait,
Mr.
oh my
Sachs
god!
informed to the press that Lee the Fairy is now declared as an anti-citizen. Sergway
What?
informed to the third clone of Professor Barranco that there is an intruder in their
God
culture
damn.
facility.
There it is, the fucking there it is, Barranco free.
The
Back
second
it
time.
up, boys. Let's go.
The second
This is the
time they got
second time.
mentioned.
Also, what the fuck is the culture facility? Where
Oh yeah, they really are xenophobic. Great.
God.
The culture
I'm totally not being reminded of anything going on right now.
I
Fuck,
can't believe
man.
fucking Mrs. Sachs is involved in this now. What the fuck?
I
Mr.
always
Sachs
knew-
is fucking xenophobic.
Oh my
I
God.
always knew that.
Lost.
I always knew that Mr. Sachs was a Nazi the whole time.
Oh my god, wait. That would be really funny though if it was actually Mrs. Sachs who was going on a rant about how jazz music fucking sucks now.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Out of all the characters, they chose Mr. Sachs.
I'm gonna keep reading. Like, this story is going places. I'm definitely gonna read one more chapter after this. And maybe this weekend I will finish the rest of the story. But oh my god, this story is amazing. I am
The story is finished, right?
Okay, Lee helped Rayman to get free from the chair. Rayman saw that he was in a small room that strongly assembled Doctor's office. At the door were remains of an exploded robopirate. Rayman, are you alright? Lee asked. Yes, Rayman replied. They couldn't help but hug each other. The moment was just so emotional. So good to see you again, Lee, Rayman said, and they both were in verge of tears. It had been so many years. I know, Lee said, and they both cried openly with tears of joy. After they had got back on track, Lee said, I'm sure you have lots of questions. All of them will be answered once we get to meet Polycus. Polycus! Was he captured too? Yes, but before we can escape and meet him, we must free 2 other prisoners. We had to be careful. The troops in here don't know that you are free now. Sure, let's go. Oh my god, that was like an actual normal exchange for once. Great. As they moved forward on metallic hallways, Rayman noticed that she wore her usual yellow-purple bodysuit. What happened to that weird piece of red clothing? You mean dress? I had to change it in case we have to escape fast. It's not designed for running. Isn't that highly unpractical piece of clothing? Definitely, but I choose to be a fashion designer as my undercover job, so I have to follow the latest wave of fashion. What? Right. Sorry, I forget that you're totally new. Lee's talk was interrupted when woman's voice started to talk from loudspeakers. Just woman. Rayman remembered this voice. He had heard it he had heard it before in Hoodlum's headquarters. It's her! It's her!
Oh shit!
Good day, all troops. There's a security breach in a hallway 4 by none other than our favorite party ruiner, Rayman, and famous fashion designer Leader Fairy, who was just recently declared as an anti-citizen. Use extreme caution when you capture them, otherwise Bronco's Clone 3 will be extremely unhappy.
What?
Bronco's
No.
Clone 3.
Wait, how they knew that were... Wait, huh? How wait,
Also, Lee.
hold on.
Apparently, Lee. What?
How they knew that we were... Okay. What?
Also, Lee is apparently a fashion designer in this story.
Yeah.
I got no words other than okay.
She stopped her sentence like she just remembered something and looked in Rayman's eyes terrified. How was I so stupid? I forgot! Nelagus! What? Where? Asked Rayman and looked nervously around him. No, Nelagus could see through our eyes. He looks this hallway even right now. Can he hear us? Only parts from here and there, but we should prepare to run and fight. The prisoners are right near. Let's do that, Rayman said. Rayman is just a blank slate. He's just like, yes, okay, sure. This is actually getting frightening. I've been in those situations before, but this time my new arch nemesis can control me. Probably he could control only one part of me at a time. Otherwise, he would have forced me to hit Lee. Whoa, okay. How much I have missed her. We've gained so much unfinished talks. I surely started to feel, whoa, that grenade nearly hit me. Time to give that hoodlum a lesson. Loading in, yeah, score. Where was I?
Andre
Oh,
appear?
yes. I okay, so he's like writing this in real time. Okay. Oh, yes, Lee. I started to feel some attraction towards her after Robo Pirates left. During the incident, we were just friends, but we both saved each other. That surely brings some heat. We had so much time to talk about our feelings before she disappeared mysteriously. Does she think our past venture, or is her time here too hectic for that? Oh, I must stop thinking those things. We tried to escape from some heavily guarded facility, and here I am, wondering does one woman I met long time ago think me anymore? We weren't even seriously crushed. Just 2 or 3 talks. Who's speaking?
Crushed? I think Rayman. I think Rayman speaking. And also like, what is happening with the whole just looking at us now? They started talking about their relationship and getting also like, okay, I'm so sorry, but like we weren't even remotely crushed by what?
I think he means like.
Crush, I know.
Yeah.
But
I assume like Lee left at some point.
Yeah, she got kidnapped by Nelagus. She was a prisoner. That's
then
why
became
she became
a fashion designer.
Yeah, she became a fashion designer out of like, I don't know, like secrecy or to protect herself or something. I don't know. Lee stopped and watched Rayman strangely. Why are you blushing? She asked. Heat of battle, Rayman said when he snapped from his thoughts. Okay. Murphy is held here, Lee said and opened the door. Murphy was sitting tied on the same kind of chair that Rayman was freed from. Murphy startled when the door was open.
Who's going to voice Murphy?
I think I just do Murphy. Is there someone in this room? Murphy asked. Yes, Lee said, and removed Murphy's helmet. Murphy flew around the room excited once he was freed from the chair. Rayman, good to see you. Lee, this is definitely a surprise. That speech was surely inspiring. What new things this world has to offer. I just had to escape so I could fill my head with the juiciest aromas of knowledge. Oh no. He wasn't like that when I last saw him, Lee whispered to Rayman. You would be surprised how many things have changed during your absence, Rayman whispered back. Rayman was little annoyed and worried about Murphy. Although Murphy knows nearly everything, his superiority in knowledge has gone to his head, and he has slowly but surely lost his touch with reality. During Hoodlum incident, Murphy talked about manuals and stuff. Like the whole world was just someone's game. That was a ridiculous idea. Rayman was positive that he's not controlled by some average guy behind a giant glass screen. No way. Really. Honestly. What?
Oh
Has
my
Murphy
God.
become like the fucking Murphy has become like Jevil.
You're all trapped, but I am free because I know.
Man,
Okay,
Oh
well,
my-
nice to see you, Murphy. Rayman partially lied and tried to forget that disturbing paranoid thought. Now, we must free the second prisoner. Yes, Lee said. He is right in the next room. Oh, I'm excited. The next prisoner was someone that Rayman didn't expect to see. Rayman's head started suddenly filled with memories. He had seen before this bug-looking creature with a straw who, like Rayman, had no limbs. Rayman, however, doubted were his memories real because they were inconsistent with each other's. Some memories showed this creature as a friend, others as a foe, but Rayman had a feeling that they had parted as friends. Rayman!
It's Bzit!
It's Bzit!
Bzit!
Rayman! You have returned! The creature said, shocked when he was freed. Rayman replied, I remember that I met you, but who? It's me, Mosquito, from Tree Forest. Ring any bells? The name of this creature brought only one unclear memory from some victory party, but besides that, he just remembered one ride and 2 battles against Mosquito.
so I guess they're assuming that Visit and Mosquito are the same.
Does he have memory loss, miss? Asked Mosquito from Lee. Lee, she answered. It's only... Wait, who? Lee, she answered. It's only partial... Is this a different character? But now that we are all free, we should go to Polycus' secret sanctuary. When they left the room, they saw a smirking rabbit with one red eye and one...
Oh shit!
He had a weird bar in his hand. Behind him were 3 rabbit robots that hovered in the air. Rayman still remembered Professor Barranco's 3rd clone from his trip to the planet Earth. Ow,
Maybe.
Rayman, the rabbit said, and just when he thought you might actually get away. But Professor Barranco Clone 3, I'm doing that even right now, said Rayman. I don't think so. As you can see, I have 3 model T41117733443303XXX robots behind me, and I'm thrilled to use them. I don't know much about 3 of you, but... Well, that must be Fix, interrupted Murphy. I am Murphy, the ultimate dictionary and a storage of knowledge. Attack, said Professor Barranco Clone 3 coldly. You have always hated long speeches by someone else than him. Murphy flew away instantly when he heard the word. Hop on Mosquito's back, Lee ordered Rayman. When Rayman grabbed Mosquito's shoulder, they and Lee followed Murphy the Rabbit's robots on their trail. Professor Barranco Clone 3 pressed some number buttons on his bar and pressed it next to his ear. Toots, he said to the bar. Tell the troops to take a hike. After that, launch the self-destruct mechanism. Oh my god. Rayman, Lee, Murphy, and Mosquito flew with tremendous speed through narrow hallways. Murphy, let me take the lead, Lee commanded. I know where the exit is. You do? Oh, good, Murphy replied. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no, never mind. Oh, good, Murphy replied, and let Lee go in front of him. As they dodged the rabbit robots' shots, Lee yelled, Rayman, cover your eyes with your scarf. Nellicus must not see where Polycus' secret sanctuary is. I fall if I try that, Rayman said. I can do it, Mosquito replied. Just hold on tightly. They flew of the culture facility when Mosquito was covering Rayman's eyes. Nearly instantly after that, Rayman heard a huge explosion down below him. Heat wave lasted only a moment and was soon cooled by the cool air. Oh.
Moment. Not moments. It's always just moment.
It's just a moment. Yeah.
Just 1 second. Oh my
It's a robot
God.
moment.
There's a
Explosion moment.
Yeah.
there's just so much going on. Holy shit.
Professor Barranco Clone 3 watch. They just keep referring to him as Clone 3. I'm just gonna call him Clone 3. Or Barranco 3.
Yeah.
Professor Barranco 3 watched with his troops from the distance when their culture facility exploded. What was so annoying that the explosion was big enough to catch his robots, but not big enough to catch Rayman, who were just inches ahead of them. What were the odds? Well, at least he got to explode something. Little enjoyment of his artificial life. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, he is a clone,
Wow.
so, you know.
Okay.
After they had safely went through the portal, Rayman, whose eyes were so covered, felt stony floor under his feet. By listening to the echoes of the step, he could tell it was an exterior space. He heard some magical humming coming right from front of him. Okay.
From front of him.
Ah, Rayman has arrived, said a familiar voice in front of him. Perhaps there is hope after all. Polycus, Rayman said when he heard the calm voice. How have you gotten in here? What is this place? I cannot answer your latter question, Polycus replied, because Nelicus can hear parts of our speech, so it would not be safe to say it. As for the first question, I was put to magical stasis by Nelicus, but my helpers brought me here. Now the sanctuary is guarded by teensies. Some high teensy voice replied, That's right! Hi, Big Nose! That greeting made Rayman always smile. He knew that Teensy's nose was at least longer.
Longer.
Okay.
Nose measuring contest.
I am very
Loses with
amused by your
pride.
long nostril. Is King Atmiozo here? Rayman asked. For those who have missed it, King Atmiozo is a new Teensy character who is the real king of the Teensies. His main distinction is that he's long.
How
long
well can
boy.
he smell?
No, I mean like he's actually like very tall.
Yeah, tall.
So he's not really a teensy, you know, he's pretty tall for a teensy. He's a lot like, you know, the tallest from Invader Zim, you know, they're pretty tall for Urkins. No, he is still captured, grounded
A
in the
giant sea, I guess?
Yeah. Polycus answered and added, although he is a bit of a mystery to me, unlike I have heard, I have never sent him any warning about the army of Nelicus. It is also possible that one of my allies have sent a warning. But nevertheless, one Teensy said, I'll go with the high voice. Mioso is planning to pretend that Teensies cooperate with Nelicus and attack when that Mr. Ice suffers so much, least suspects it. Mr. Ice suffers so much? But who is actually this Nelicus that everybody talks about? Rayman wanted to know. Polycus said, I will only tell the basic things you need to know about him. I am about to send you to an urgent quest. Rayman somehow guessed that there would be Save the World thing coming on, but he was used to these assignments, and this was definitely the most interesting so far. What have you learned about Nelicus so far? Polycus asked. Well, he is a god, he can control me, and seems that all my old enemies are his underlings, answered Rayman. Oh yeah, and he hates when someone calls him evil. Yes, he is actually my twin brother. Oh,
Whoa!
My god.
Rayman went speechless for a moment.
I predicted it! I predicted it!
Damn.
Rayman went
coming
speechless for a moment when he heard this little cliched but still surprising information. Twin
Even
brother.
the story calls it cliched.
Yeah, good job, author. Twin brother, he finally replied, but he doesn't look like you at all. He uses some dark force to increase his powers, and that gives him his menacing look and more length?
What?
How many legs does Nelicus have?
What does that mean?
Two.
It is still a riddle to me where he has gotten that force. Polycus started to tell. Nelicus is my twin brother because he was born in the same event as I was. A group of silver lumps gathered together in a lifeless planet long time ago to become a new life form. And when it is about silver lumps, the result is always a god. However, some nearby yellow lumps were scared by this quite trembling phenomenon and changed into black lumps. Black lumps that are originally yellow lumps can create gods, so they started to gather together, become a counter life form. In the middle of the process, one silver lump realized that if one god is absolutely good and the other is absolutely evil, they would start immediately to match their strength. So that silver lump switched places with one black lump to prevent an ultimate battle. The silver lumps surrounded by black lumps became Neligus, and the black lumps surrounded by silver lumps became me. Fascinating, said Rayman, impressed at Polycus' speech. But wait a second, how good and evil you two actually are? The evil thing in me is that my every dream comes true, including my nightmares. As for Neligus, Polycus sighed and continued. He does not want to destroy anything, only to create. It has, however, become an obsession to him. He demands that every inhabitant in the universe that is able to think creatively has to create at least one work of any form of art in a year. There are strict rules how works are defined as not art. Major border case, minor border case, art, or high art. Everyone in the universe? Isn't that highly difficult? Not if they are in one and same place. He created robo-pirates to explode populated planets and merge as part of one big planet. He created
Oh
the
my God.
robo-pirates? What?
What is this revelation?
Oh my god! I like how... Wait, I'm so confused now because it's like Polycus is giving this backstory and it is just like, oh, but we can't say anything because he might catch us or something.
Maybe they're just explaining Rayman all the stuff that what's his name again? Rulicus?
Neligus.
Pernicus?
Neligus.
Neligus, there we go. Neligus already knows, so they don't have to like so they don't have to like say all kinds of stuff that is sensitive, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I hear that where this is a trap.
That's what happened to... Oh, wait, hold on. Now that they're in one and the same place, he created robo-pirates to explode populated planets and merge them as part of one big planet. That's what happened to the Glade of Dreams, said Lee sadly. The Glade of Dreams? Yelled Rayman, shocked. Then, are we stuck in this big planet mass forever? To get all the planets to their original places, Polycus said, we must either destroy Neligus or persuade him to give up his madness and return to planets. Somehow, Rayman felt that the first option would be more probable. Are there any planets left? Rayman asked. Yes, there is, replied Polycus. The planet called Earth. You have been there before, have you not? I was there getting rid of rabbits, Rayman answered. Neligus, whose first creation the rabbits were. Yo!
Damn.
Wait, Neligus created... Are we going to say that, like, Neligus created all of the villains of Rayman's world?
Yeah, not only did he create the rabbits, they were his first creation. Yo!
Explains why they've been plotting since Rayman 1.
Neligus, whose first creation the rabbits were, had set them there to collect any culture they could find. Yo! Wait a minute!
What?
That's actually kind of genius. Wait. Had set them there to collect any culture they could find, and also to check what kind of defense force Earth has. He is now planning a great invasion, which we must prevent. That leads us to this urgent mission. Okay, actually, gotta give some credit here. That's actually pretty genius. Like, you have this villain who's like, oh yeah, I want to create my own culture. I want to control culture. And also, he created all the villains in the Rayman series. And the rabbits are specifically created just so they could, you know, basically collect any culture. Which, like, yeah, that is what the rabbits do. Especially in Raving Rabbids 2. Like, holy shit. That's kind of genius. Oh my god. Okay, I lost track. Okay. Rayman graved for more information, but he knew they had to press on. Polycus continued. If we are going to intrude in this space of operations, Culture Chateau, I would need all my powers to let you in there. You must collect 4 masks, which are able to free me from this magical stasis. 4 masks? The same 4 masks I collected to wake you during Robo-Pirate's invasion? The very same. Although this time, only one of them is hidden in an ancient sanctuary. Others are hidden by Neligus and his troops. First, I need you to collect the mask from that ancient sanctuary so I can give you new powers and prevent Nelicus from seeing through your eyes. Lee will tell you more once you reach the place. It's time to go, said Lee, and helped blinded Rayman to walk. Wow, said Murphy. This must be the longest time I've been quiet. Perhaps even a world record. Okay, that is a very Murphy line. I like that. Excuse me, sir, said Mosquito, but I think I just broke your record. Oh!
Oh shit.
Ah, yes, Murphy, said Polycus. I need you to stay with me. There is something I would want you to do. Lee leaded Rayman onwards. Polycus yelled after them. Remember to gather any lumps you can find. You will need them later. Then Rayman felt that he was stepped into a portal. Holy shit.
So,
Wow.
that was something.
That went places.
What in that? That was such a crazy second chapter. What the hell?
So,
Like-
let's recap. So Nelicus, Polycus's twin brother, Polycus' twin brother, has destroyed the Glade of Dreams, and is planning on destroying pretty much every planet until eventually and assimilating all of its culture and shit to create his brand new culture. And he's seemingly trying to brainwash and erase the other cultures from existence.
Yeah.
That's a good reaction. But what is this? This is just a story of fascism. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like the whole idea
Yeah.
that like he's destroying planets and he's basically like congealing them into one planet that matches his ideal culture. Like, damn, like that's just straight up gentrification. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
This is quite literally the Rayman version of World War II.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, as weirdly written as the story is, and as awkward as the writing is, I do find the concept really fascinating in the context of a Rayman story. Like, I mean, I should note that the name of the author is called Respect for Art, and, like, I'm starting to think that, like, I think this author is just, like, especially passionate about just art as an idea, that he's willing to make this story where the main villain is about like how this villain is like, you know, they view art, they view things as not being art, and they think there is this ideal form of art. And if you're someone who actually cares about art, like, you know that that's just bullshit. Like, anything and everything can be considered art. And but like, oh my god. But so to continue with the recap, like, so then Rayman was about to get indoctrinated by the propaganda with the mine video thing. I think Murphy did get indoctrinated because he was like, oh yeah, I think I am a genius. I know everything now. I like how like this story contextualizes like Murphy's characterization in Rayman 3 as, oh yeah, no, Murphy is genuinely going insane. He is losing his grip with reality.
As if he already wasn't insane.
He to add to it, I think he might have taken a little bit too much slop.
Too much
Damn it, I was just about to say that. Motherfucker, no one's gonna get that joke.
Yeah.
No one,
We are
no
gonna
one
get
in this
that joke,
recording,
though.
nobody watching this video is gonna get the joke. Anyway, so yeah, so now this is basically like, man, when this story is called the Culture Revolution, it really is a fucking culture revolution here. Like, this is, you know, I'm gonna be blunt and say that, like, you know, there are people on the internet who are things like, I don't like it when things get political or whatever. And meanwhile, I'm reading this story that has, like, you know, some very serious political implications, and it's like, this is really interesting. Like, I want more stories like this. It's just
What's even more funny is that it feels very relevant even today. Like,
yeah.
holy shit! It's like all the things, like even like of course we got a lot of still a lot of these asshole people who put art in a very objective way or something like that, and they go, "Oh, all of old art was better. Mine is." The stuff today is just terrible because they don't follow my world views, and it's
Yeah.
this is the kind of shit that the fucking anti-woke Ben Shapiro bullshitters are saying.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Basically, what I'm saying, viewers, is that we need more analogs for these kind of cultural extremists in our media, because I think they're really fascinating kind of villain. But yeah, okay, so do I want to read one more chapter? I think I'll read one more chapter and then I'll call it a day. I'm skimming through the first few sentences and already it's off to a really good start. Okay, but I'll finish off reading this chapter and that'll be it for this recording. I'm gonna start reading chapter 3, Rain Dancing Rabbits. It is hard to listen to two things at the same time. Nelicus, however, concentrated his thoughts to Polycus' speech rather than that annoying female voice who demanded him to. What?
Whoa!
Whoa!
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Who demanded
What?
him to give me more? Whoa! What?
What?
You came back at a really bad time.
What is happening? What the fuck?
He can
What were
only
you gonna
hear.
say?
He could only hear parts of the speech, but trying to guess what Polycus were talking about was as challenging and fun, like a thrilling puzzle of Grim Fandango. What?
Wow! Grim Fandango? Wow, we
A
got
Grim
that game
Fandango
mentioned
reference.
here. We got that game mentioned here. Holy shit!
It, however, sounded like they were talking about Polycus and his past. Nelicus had heard this speech before. He should give up his madness. Polycus just refuses to understand that it's not mad to create, it's mad to destroy. Nelicus hasn't destroyed anything, ever.
Oh.
The song had just
Sure.
ended. Nelicus focused on the meeting and prepared to ban pop music.
What? Ben.
Damn, not even J-pop? What the hell?
My God. Holy shit! I think it broke Rift.
Hold on. Wait. Nelicus focused on the meeting and prepared to ban pop music. Like the sixth preparation, he said that was one of the latest songs of Britney Spears, who had an Earth, at least at some point titled as the Queen of Pop. What do you think? Nelicus watched all the other 7 members of the world's government, the Irana, his second in command, and the leader and conductor of the World Orchestra, Mr. Sachs, the main editor of Culture Pages, Space Mama, Mr. Sachs's wife, and the leader of the Artistic Theater. She's involved in this too?
I didn't know that ship existed.
Razorbeard, the leader of Culture Cops, and the main producer of Robotic Arrest Movie Studios. Sergey, the main producer of White Bunny Game Studios. Andre, currently unemployed, and Mr. Dark.
Andre's just currently unemployed. That is so Andre of him.
Mr. Dark 2! Mr. Dark 2!
Dark who?
The clone of Mr. Dark?
Mr. Dark 2!
A sequel.
For anyone who's watching the video, I just posted a GIF of the Pego 2 A3. Hold on.
I just need to recollect yourself, man.
I had to cough a bit. And
Of
Mr.
course,
Dark
again.
2, the main producer of Burning Soul Game Productions. Although Andre and Mr. Dark 2 weren't so talkative, Andre, because of his lack of experience. What do you mean Andre isn't so talkative?
Bitch, I want lines. Give me.
Oh yeah, he's gonna speak soon, I think. Andre, because of his lack of experience, and Mr. Dark 2 because of, well, it was just his way. God, That's amazing. We got Mr. Dark too.
Just like Barranco Free, man.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're gonna get I think we're gonna get these characters' opinion on the Britney Spears song. I gotta read this.
Honestly, you know what?
no.
Let's just make this game.
No.
The melody in her songs is quite simple, replied Space Mama. The words are quite repetitive, and they're not polemical enough, so we should ban all her works. Oh god.
Whoa! Just off of one song, Jesus!
But in this latest song, there seems to be a message about lust and its destroying effects. Augmented Sergway, I think they mean argued. Maybe this song could be counted as a major border case. Naticus didn't want a long-lasting argument about this. They had more important things to think about. So Sergway has proposed major border case status. Does anyone agree with him? No hands were raised up. Naticus were pleased that they could ban pop music just like they had banned death metal, rap, and fusion jazz. Oh no!
Oh my
Man,
god!
poor Sergway.
Yeah. What music genre is allowed then?
God, this guy really is a fascist. Like, holy shit. Oh my god.
They're not even being subtle about it.
Like, specifically, like, banning rap and jazz fusion, which, you know, those are genres of, you know, heavy, prominent, black history. Like, holy shit. This really is fascism. Wow. With 7 against 1, it is decided that pop music is not art, said Naticus, and hit the tables with his fists. All pop music is banned? Sergey tried desperately. Can't we still talk about the Beatles? Hey, come on!
It's kind.
Oh my god.
I mean, the whole like, it was even foreshadowed earlier with the whole Raymanian thing. At least that kind of implied, you know.
Oh god.
Okay, can I just say, I love how the research for the origin of Barranco Free has led to a story about fascism.
Yeah.
Fuck.
The fact that this is one of the earliest pieces with Barranco Free's name on it, just like, damn.
God.
Fuck.
Rabbits Wiki, can you please cite this story in your article, please? Thank you. Anyway, all pop music is banned? Sergey tried desperately. Can't we still talk about the Beatles? Hey, come on! Cried Razorbeard, frustrated. Let's not discuss about that ban anymore. Do you even remember how annoyingly long we had to hash over about its artistic possibilities? He is right, Sergey, Durana said. There's no point to keep discussing it. You, me, and Mr. Dark II lost that debate fair and square. Sergey didn't want to give up. But
Shit, my lines.
Oh wait, is Andre? Oh yeah, but
Yeah, Andre.
you've heard Yesterday, right? Such a chanting melody, and it was in that one film. Oh my god, they're talking about that one Beatles movie. That one movie about like one of the Beatles didn't existed, and it was like this one guy that did all their music or something. God, this is such a 2009 ass story. Such enchanting melody, and it was in that one film we just recently watched to teach Andre about culture. What was the name?
Once upon a time in America.
Andre said.
Wait, that film?
Jeez, even I remember that name.
Oh my god. Yeah, Sergey replied Sergey, completely ignoring Andre's insults. I know the message is nothing more but how sad it is when somebody leaves you, but it's said that there's a deeper meaning. Deeper meaning? Yeah, right, interrupted Mr. Sachs. If we go to that line, we could say that Mario games are actually a metaphor of the fight between workers and owners. You know what?
What? What is it? The fuck?
What? Huh?
You know what?
Huh?
You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna copy that and make a note of that for any future projects. Anyway, it is interesting that you mentioned
The
Mario.
royalty fighting against the Koopa working class.
Yeah, it is interesting that you mentioned Mario, said Nelicus, who wanted to end this pointless harping. I love that we just have like a bunch of like Rayman characters and fan OCs discussing like video games and stuff. This is so good.
This is just
We had decided about a week ago that they are not art. They are, however, come complaining from most of the culture cops who agree with two-dimensional Marios but disagree with three-dimensional Marios because of their stunning visuals, especially the latest part, Super Mario Galaxy, and I propose to define them as major border cases. We should now discuss. Oh my god, that's
You
crazy.
can tell when this was released.
oh my I'm completely speechless by this. Holy shit!
I love this. I love the fact that I love that in this Rayman fanfiction we get this conversation about like, oh yeah, it's debatable if 2D Mario can be considered art, but 3D Mario is a borderline case of art. Like, this is so funny. We should now discuss. The conversation was interrupted when an upset Robo-Pirate came in. He was Razorbeard's second in command, the guy whose name nobody remembered. It's the Spyglass Pirate. Yo.
Yeah.
Who's that guy again?
Razorbeard usually called him as Useless Grunt. What I have said about interrupting meetings, asked Nelicus. If I remember correctly, said Robo-Pirate upset, the dramatic interruption is allowed only when something really, really bad has occurred. All correct, said Nelicus. What is it? The adoption of the Glade of Dreams has been a disaster. The forest area was assimilated to the world without problem, but the swamps. There's twisted landscape and lots of hostile, bizarre creatures who are a threat to local and nearby residents. Nelicus knew that twisted landscape meant only one thing. There were living creatures in the Glade of Dreams where they exploded. Razorbeard, said Nelicus coldly. Are you sure that you and your troops looked every corner? Absolutely, Razorbeard said, panic. All shifts were full. Nelicus thought this problem for a moment. Then he remembered how he could have been so careless. This is completely my own fault. How embarrassing. I thought that the Cave of Bad Dreams was a mental place in the head of Jano, but it was actually a physical place. I should have told Sergway and his troops to ask Jano to let them in that place. Now those poor nightmares are awfully disfigured. Nelicus continued. At least none of the intelligent residents met this horrible fate. It was unusually careless of me, but at least I am not some Michael Camino who, after making a true masterpiece, Deer Hunter, made something so horrifying like the Gate of Heaven. My mistake is little compared to that.
Okay, so literally just said at least none of the intelligent residents met that horrible fate. Are we just gonna let that slide?
Oh no! You're right! Fuck!
Wait, what? Sorry, can you repeat that?
So, like, they said something. So, it turns out that when the Glade of Dreams was destroyed, there were some inhabitants, and that's not what Nelicus wanted. He wanted the entire planet to be free of life before he could, destroy it. But then he kind of, like, rationalized it as, well, at least they're not, like, the intelligent race, And it's like, oh no.
No, this.
They are.
How much more can you lean into this being fascist, and how much more can you lean into it? God.
At this.
Also, I want to ask, I don't know what Deer Hunter and the Gate of Heaven is. Like, can anyone look that up for me? God.
I assume they're movies.
Movies, books.
I'm assuming they are.
Okay, is banning minigame collections a little mistake? Sergey muttered. Of course, Sergey would take issue with the banning of minigame collections.
Ha!
Sergey didn't need to say it
is a
out
movie.
loud, but the accident had already happened. Everyone watched Sergey with pressing silence. Could you leave me and Sergey alone for a while? Nelicus asked after a moment. All the others left the room, and only Nelicus and Sergey were left. You too, Mr. Dark, Nelicus said. A mass of black matter started to pour from Nelicus. His length was smaller as the dark matter with glowing yellow eyes left his body and floated out the door. Nicholas actually looked distantly like Polycus's twin brother. Same short length, same comically long hands. His mouth was visible, but that's where the similarities stopped. His eyes were blood red, his skin was paler than bone, and his fingers were razor sharp. Not to mention that he had 5 fingers instead of 4. Holy shit. He also had different clothing than
Polycus's
Polycus.
skin is already pretty pale.
Instead of high purple hat, he had bronze crown with 8 spikes on his head, blue trousers, and not to mention shoes and jacket with a red ribbon. Unlike his actions so far would suggest, Nelicus had a concerned face. Sergei, he said calmly, could you just tell me what presses your mind? Okay, so wait a minute. I guess that's the original Mr. Dark, and he is what's giving Nelicus his more intimidating form early on? Huh.
I guess.
Okay.
Maybe Mr. Dark is influencing him. I don't know.
Okay,
that could be a cool twist.
So wait, so does that mean that Mr. Dark is also a fascist as well?
I mean, at this point, like, pretty much every character a part of this group are part of this fascist regime. Like, they're all just debating about, like, whether something should be considered art or not. And it's just a weird discussion to be in the first place. But then that makes me ask the question, like, what is the deal with Mr. Dark 2? Like, like, what's his deal? This is son. Okay.
I'm just gonna go with that.
I like to headcanon it as I know again this is past the UBR games, but I like to headcanon it as the magician. Huh.
Could you just tell? Okay, what was I gonna say? Okay, unlike his actions so far would suggest, Nelicus had a concerned face. Sergei, he said calmly, could you just tell me what presses your mind? Even though Nelicus was friendly, Sergei felt really uncomfortable. Nelicus was, odd enough, more frightening when he showed his humane feelings. Whoa, this culture thing frightens you? Of course, you have not accustomed to it. Nelicus saw that Sergei was sweating. Hey, there's no need to sweat, Nelicus said warmly like a father to his son. I am not angry, just concerned. Nelicus put one of his long arms on Sergei's shoulder and used his other arm for standing. From his face, one could tell that he really meant his kind words. Look, I know that you enjoy gladiator fights and minigame collections, but try to understand that they belong to the past evil world, the world of louts. Low-minded sport and reflex tests are not art, but I have faith in you, Sergei. After all, I created your ancestors, so you cannot be evil. Nelicus' warm face turned suddenly into a more attentive one. So, Rayman is in the band for us. Hey, I just got an excellent idea to solve all of our problems, and I will need your help. Globox is imprisoned there, is he not? Rayman felt grass under his feet. Oh, okay, I guess we're just leaving that scene. Okay, what?
Like, okay, so first, like, so he's manipulative and a fascist.
There is this element where, like, some members are, like, concerned about this. Like, is this culture thing even right? Like, it's still kind of wild to me that, like, Nelicus basically created, like, all the villains, including the rabbits. Okay, so let's go to Rayman. Rayman felt grass under his feet. Lee removed Rayman's scarf from his eyes. Rayman had to blink for a while to get accustomed to the light, and immediately he had to accustom to the landscape he saw. There were trees that Rayman recognized, but they were gigantic, oddly shaped objects that, from some reason, looked really familiar. Rayman got a pile of memories that showed him adventuring in this place. All of this caused him a massive headache. Why, this place looks so familiar? Rayman asked, coating his forehead. It seems that they have assimilated parts of clearly forests and light woods into dream forests, replied Lee. Now the forest has spread to Bandland. Only 2 of those names means anything to me, Rayman told. But those other places have meant something, Mosquito said. Let me guess, said Rayman. Polycus will tell me about these swarms of memories once we get the first mask. Yes, answered Lee. First, we need to get past the gate leading to Band Forest, but this place is swarming with rabbits and anti-tunes. Anti-what? those small blue creatures. But in order to get inside, we need help from Fajarnos? Who's Fajarnos? Is this like an actual character or is this another OC? Before Rayman could finish his question, a transparent man appeared from thin air in front of them. Seeing him didn't bring any mental images in Rayman's mind, so he's quite sure that they haven't met the strong-jawed and small-nosed man before. He had a fine light purple jacket with white frills and green trousers and shoes. His skin was bright red skin, his eyes were bright yellow, and his hair was dark green. So, I suppose I have an honor to meet the famous hero Rayman. I am Fajarnos, the former god of Herlania. What? Fajarnos reached out his hand for shaking. Rayman tried to grab his arm. Grab. But it went right through him. Oh, sorry, Fajarnos laughed. Sometimes I forget that this is only my astral projection. But do not worry, my body is in a safe place. I have not actually seen it for a while. I hope it had not become too dusty. Rayman tried to shake off an image of Fajarnos' motionless body lying in some forgotten place and asked, "We haven't met before, right?" "Oh, no. I have seen that you have difficulties to remember your past. Unfortunately, we could discuss more about it when we have recovered the first mask. You seem to know awfully a lot about what's going on. Have you been in direct contact with Polycus?" I cannot, but I can see through your eyes and partially hear through your ears. I am a god after all." "So wait a minute, can every god in the whole universe use my eyes and other body parts?"
"Yes." I don't like how he phrased that.
"Yes, but it takes a lot of energy, so we usually use that power when we feel it is absolutely necessary. I hope this information did not make you feel threatened, but do not worry, we cannot read your mind." Still, Rayman couldn't help but feel threatened by this information. To think that all cosmic weirdos like Nelicus could spy his private life. Luckily, his free time was boring enough to drive out the audience. "We should now press onwards," Fajarnos said, and walked to the forest followed by Lee. "Rayman," asked Mosquito, "what ears was Fajarnos talking about?" "What ears?" Rayman stopped for a second to think this mystery of his anatomy, but then he decided to follow the others. Soon they all arrived near to the gate and hide behind bushes. There were at least 10 heavily armed rabbit officers. I like the sentence of Rayman stopped for a second to think the mystery of his anatomy. Like,
yeah. Where are my ears?
Where are my ears? "Charging there would not be wise," said Fajarnos. "Unlike most of the rabbits, officers have not sense of humor." Since when rabbits have a sense of humor?" Rayman asked. "Oh shit!"
Oh,
Fajarnos avoided his comment and continued. "Just let me do the talking. I can use power I learned from Star I can use power I learned from Star Wars. I still cannot believe Nelicus and his underlings defined the original trilogy as major border case." What the fuck? "Before we press on," Rayman asked, "I have to know what these border cases are," Nee answered. "Nelicus had this crazy theory that junk art is bad for common people's minds. In order to buy major border case art, you require literal proof from 3 doctors that you are sane enough to enjoy them. Minor border case requires only 1 doctor's opinion. This is crazy." "Yes," said Fajarnos. "Now let me just do
they
the
happen
talking."
to be 3 teensy doctors?
Oh, that would be fucked up. Rayman, Lee, Mosquito, and Fajarnos approached the rabbit officers. That's a sentence. One of them raised rapidly his hand. "Halt!" the officer said, and all remaining officers surrounded them. "We are looking some people, and many of you resemble them." "These are not the people you are looking for," Fajarnos said, and made one slow wave with his hand. Oh, he's doing a Jedi mind trick.
Straight up did not know. Straight up did not. It's like
this entire story is just becoming more and more unhinged.
We started with the Glade of Dreams getting blown up. And that was not the high point of this story.
I wonder what the true high point of the story is. I want to know now.
I'm
These
a little
aren't the people
scared to
we are
find
looking
out.
for, said the officer like he would have told House the weather. Even more surprising, all the other officers nodded their heads with agreement. I still need to see your identifications, said the officer. There is nothing wrong in our papers, said Veranos with one slow wave. There's nothing wrong in their papers, the officer said, and everyone agreed. Move along, said Veranos with one wave. Move along, said the officer and opened the gate. After they had reached a safe place, Veranos said, Unfortunately, I cannot continue any further. I need to spy a few things, but I wish you luck in your quest. There are prisoners in these woods, so remember to free them. I am off now, but my contact will come soon. With these words, Farhanos vanished. Rayman, Lee, and Mosquito waited for a while. Then a loud yell was heard above them. Someone was coming swinging from branch to branch. With great agility, that someone landed right in the middle of them. The man resembled...
Spider-Man?
The man resembled Rayman very much. Only differences were black hair and some yellow-black loincloth. Tarazan! Rayman's head.
Yeah, better!
Rayman's head was once again filled with memories where he helped to get this man's clothes back and where this man gave Rayman some seeds. He, like Mosquito, had also been in some weird victory party with Rayman. Wow, Rayman! After all these years, you're back! The man said. I remember that I have met you, but... Mosquito interrupted Rayman. This is Tarazan, the king of jungle. You exaggerate, but thanks anyway, Tarazan replied. I have a very important thing to tell. Verharnos doesn't know this because I heard about it just recently. Tarazan's face was grim when it continued. You're going to get that mask, right? You better hurry, because soon it may be impossible. Swarm of questions came from the three, but Tarazan continued. The swamp areas are really dangerous and filled with dangerous monsters. To prevent their spreading to other areas, the forces of Nalicus is using some blue, bloated, frog-like creature. Hey, nicer tongue when you're talking about my best friend, said Rayman when he realized who Tarazan was referring to. Tarazan was surprised. Oh, really? Well, sorry. But anyway, they're going to use his rain dancing powers to create a massive storm that would be on the swamps and prevent anyone from going in or out for the next 30 years. What?
Holy
Very
shit.
specific.
Rayman yelled, That's unbearable! What about all the residents of the swamps? Nalicus gave them evacuate order, but I doubt much of them will obey it, said Tarazan. That's why we must hurry before it's too late. With these words, they pressed onwards. Okay, Sergey speaking. Sergey watched when Globox was tied in a mechanical machine. Is everything ready, Professor Barranco? He asked from a rabbit next to him. Positively, Master Sergey, the rabbit replied. The dancers are ready to charge their energy in that blue bloated frog-like creature.
Isn't he supposed to be referred to as Professor Barranco Clone 3?
I think this could be the original Professor Barranco.
Oh shit.
Good.
It's just like the fucking it's just like Dark Mr. Dark and Mr. Dark 2.
Good.
Where's Mr. Dark 3? The sequel.
Oh, magic nerd!
Oh, hey! Hello. How's it going?
Yeah.
This
I
Goober is
saw
one of my
them come in
friends.
earlier, but they were muted.
Oh,
This
okay.
Goober is one of my friends from another server.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I will say things that are PG.
Yeah.
Well, technically, this whole story that we're reading is not really that PG to begin with. But
PG-13?
I'm pretty nice just reading this, so
we started reading this as like one of the earliest ever appearances of the name Professor Barranco Free, spiraled into a story about a fascist Policus.
He's an evil twin brother named Neligus. Yeah.
What kind of name is Nelicus?
Bronco, good. Change the CD before we start the dancing. Oh, okay. I like the idea of like the rabbits forcing Globox to dance with them so they can use this rain dance. That's clever. Good. Change the CD before we start the dancing. Bronco didn't take well Segway's final sentence. But Master, Neligus gave us Chavosky's Nutcracker so we could use it as dance music. Please, you act like I was going to listen to Spice Girls. Just something that has more rhythm. Like that. I like to move it. What's that artist's name? Hey, that belongs to rap music, which is forbidden. I'm a member of Culture Council, and you're not. So take your opinion somewhere else. The discussion has ended. No more hip-hop hooray. With one wave of his hand, Sergey punched Barranco. With one wave of his hand, Sergey punched Barranco through the door. For some odd reason, teaching that whiner to show some respect always amuses him. Master, Barranco groaned on the floor, looking out the window. I think we have company.
Yeah, I think it is the original Barranco.
This is just the original Barranco. He's getting brutalized, like usual.
Poor
Many
guy.
knocked out enemies, freed prisoners, and collected lumps later, Rayman and his friends had finally arrived in the main building of Rabbit's stronghold complex. First they saw was very unpleasant sight behind a window. Rayman could recognize every Professor Barranco's beaten features.
Was he the professor of?
The Professor of Culture, I guess.
Yeah.
Professor of Culture? That's not even a thing. That's like saying I'm a professor of the memetology.
Oh, trust me.
Well, it is in Negolus's world.
Yeah. I think that there's an alarm coming on, Terezon said. Mosquito, go with the released prisoners and prevent, what was his name? Globox, said one of Globox's kids. Yeah, prevent Globox from being used by rabbits. Me, Rayman, and Lee are going to find a way to explode this cursed place. Okay, I can accept that plan, Rayman said and raised his arm. Charge! I'm not even gonna comment on that. Everyone charged inside the stronghold, but a swarm of anti-tunes. Rayman, Lee, and Terezon ran to another direction, while Mosquito, children of Globox, Teensies, and small pink, limbless creatures called Electoons stopped anti-tunes' rush. Suddenly, there started some loud music-like noise. Okay. And some sort of singing. The process has started, Terezon yelled. Mosquito, hurry! Mosquito's forces ran through the hallway, smashing anti-tunes and rabbits. Finally, they reached big open place. I commented on this before, but like I love this story, the writing's commitment of just never referring to a place as the place, but just place.
Okay, can I just say this is really becoming like. Is it getting to like Avengers Endgame territory? I feel.
Oh my gosh! Every character from Rayman 1 makes a grand return to help Rayman fight against the culture cops. Mosquito's forces ran through the hallway, smashing into the rabbits. Finally, they reached big open place. In the middle of it was Globox. Tied is some device, and behind glass was 10 rabbits dancing with the music. Huge storm was forming on the sky. Hey kids! Mosquito yelled. Go to help your father. The rest of us will deal with those dancers. Globox saw his kids coming. Hey, glad you're here. I was getting a little worried. This machine tickles me. At least the music is nice. Where's your mom? I heard she and the rest of my siblings are in a safe place at some resistance hideout, said his eldest son. We tried to untie you now. Good, said Globox. Why are you doing that? We must talk about our last talk. Dad, please, his son said while untying him. In case you hadn't noticed, we are in a tough situation where fate of the world is threatened. Yeah,
We're in tough
Odie.
situation.
Tough situation, said another
Did you
son.
just say Odie?
Yeah, Odie.
What?
Odie. I
Oh
think
my
like
God.
Garfield.
Garfield. No, don't summon the lasagna monster.
I think the another son is calling the other the elder son old, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want respect, then act like someone worth of it. Why you can't be cool like my boyfriend, said his daughter. And why you had to be so uncool in presence of my boyfriend, said another daughter.
I think they're actually referring to Globox himself.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just like the Uglets are just bragging about their boyfriends or something. I don't know. And why we can't be out late, said one of his sons. In case you didn't notice, rabbits were driven away. Globox sighed when 30 of his kids started to complain about various things. He really hoped this were just an unwanted but necessary process to become independent. I feel really sorry for Mosquito. Oh, okay, this is anonymous narrator again. I feel really sorry for Mosquito. His corridor was full of enemies, and my group hasn't met any resistance or any living soul in that matter. He has to do all the hard work. Wait a minute. Why does it bother me? In the old days, I would have been thrilled to get into combat. It made me to feel alive. Old days. Maybe I am actually becoming old. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
this
I
is
think
Rayman
it's Rayman.
speaking. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, is that... Why on earth Sergey is dancing by himself in that arena? Has this music something to do with? Oh, and Professor Barranco is there too, but he doesn't seem to enjoy this situation. Can't blame him if this is... Wait, what? Can't blame him if this is music, then I'm not impressed. Although this is weirdly catching. That door! It's closed! I don't understand what the point of this narration is. Like, why do we have those random moments of... By the way, here's a random bit of Rayman self-narration that's apparently happening in real time, considering he's, like, reacting to things. But, like, why did they write it like this?
Incredibly important, that's why.
Yeah. Oh, we're almost done. Suddenly, an unnoticed metal door closed, separating Rayman from Leah to Rayzon. Hi, Rayman, said Barranco's voice from loudspeakers. Long time no see. How unfortunate for you that your friends aren't with you, but it's fairer this way. Just step into the elevator in front of you so my master may begin. Go on, Lee said behind the door. We try to figure something out. Rayman stepped to the arena where he saw Sergey watching him concentrated. Professor Barranco, we don't need the music right now, so turn it off from arena's loudspeakers. Yeah, music, grumbled Barranco, and turn this music off. Thank Nalgus, it's finally over. Sergey looked Barranco with grim face and turned to talk to Rayman. Dance is always good stretching exercise before battle. I hope you have yourself prepared. You have prepared yourself. You're going to battle against me? I have fists that shoots Ray. What do you have? Yo! I think that's funny though, like, shoot Ray. My raw strength, of course, said Sergey and showed his muscle. Rayman had to admit, it looked impressive and well trained. It looked impressive? Okay. Suddenly, a piece of plastic next to Barranco started to ring. It was a mobile phone, although Rayman didn't know it. Professor Barranco speaking, he answered. Oh, yes, it is. Sure. Master is for you. Sergey caught the phone and answered. Hello? Sergey, tell me first what ungodly racket you were just playing. Nicholas, said Sergey, terrified when he recognized the various voice. You can hear us? Yes, through the ears of Rayman. Did I not send you Tchaikovsky that you could use as dance music? Yes, but I thought that using something that isn't art would distract our enemies to think unclearly. Oh, said Netica's calmer. Thank you for your thought, but I have to remind you about creature rights, article paragraph 45. It is forbidden to use anti-art for torture. I hope I do not need to remind you about this for a second time. It won't be necessary, Nicholas. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Oh, they're using... So they use art that they considered not art for torture.
It is
No, they
all-
don't.
Not the art torture.
No!
You can't even use it as torture.
It is all correct. Now, I called to help you in the battle against Rayman. Professor Barranco told that his cell phone is fully charged, so you do not need to worry about low battery, although you can only use one arm because of the cell phone. But I can see through the eyes of Rayman, so it gives you a major advantage. Wow, thanks. You are welcome. Tell Rayman what we may begin. Okay, Limitless Champion, let's fight. I love the fact that it's like Nalgus and Sergey are just talking to each other on the phone. Like, just a casual fucking conversation, like, hey, bro, what's up?
How you doing?
Okay, Limitless Champion, let's fight. Rayman started to load his fists. Nalgus instructed Sergey. From the position of his fist, I could tell that he's going to hit your lower belly. Dodge to the left. Now! Sergey dodged Rayman's hit just in time. Strike to his belly. Good, that leaves a mark. Before he gets up, grab his leg. Now spin, spin. Throw him towards the plastic window. Rayman felt that, and so did Leah Terezon who were watching him. I'm confused. Who's saying what?
What's going on here? I'm a bit lost.
Like they said, like grab his leg. So I'm assuming it's not Rayman. Is it Sergway?
Grab his
No,
foot?
How could they grab Rayman's legs if he has no legs?
I mean, one of the earlier paragraphs did mention Rayman having an arm, so I
Oh yeah,
think
no. The
they're
story
just...
likes to say like, oh, Rayman lifted his arm and shit. It's like that's not correct. Rayman felt that, and so did Lee and Terezon, who were watching him. He's going to smash Rayman to mush if we don't do something and fast, said Terezon. Let me think, Lee said, and looked at the arena. Hey, I got an idea. Rayman was badly hurt, but he could still stand up. Okay, so I guess it was Rayman that got, like, grabbed and
Yeah.
up. Okay. Suddenly, he heard Lee's voice in his mind. Rayman, can you hear me? Yeah, said Rayman. I bet Nelicus is giving instructions to Sergei through that cell phone. Do you see the metallic plate in upper arena? That's a satellite. If you manage to hit it, you can temporarily disable the signals, and Sergei's moves will be easier to predict. Rayman started to load an energy ball. He's aiming for your head. Prepare to duck now. Energy ball missed Sergei, but hit the satellite just like Rayman meant it to happen. What the? Nelicus, can you hear me? Sergei tried and looked at his mobile phone. Then Rayman attacked, giving him rapid punches in every single place in his body. Oof. 4 seconds later, Nelicus was back online. Hit him to the jaw! Rayman flew from Sergei's punch, but luckily it was quite mild. He figured out the satellite plate. Lee must have instructed him. He is charging, and aiming the satellite. Put your hand in its way, now. Energy ball hit Sergei's free hand. I like energy ball, not the energy ball. Energy ball, like it's a character. It hurt, and he had to get to his knees from pain. Rayman used this to his advantage and sent a small energy ball to interrupt Nicholas's signal for a second. Rayman rushed towards Sergei and raised his fist. This does seem like a pretty, like, functional video game boss fight, I gotta say. Rayman rushed towards Sergei and raised his fist straight to the face. Sergei staggered for a while, and then he fell to the grass with trembling power. The storm in the sky was stopped without anyone noticing it. Professor Barranco saw that battle was lost and opened the doors that held Lee and Terezon. I failed you, Sergei said weakly to the cell phone. I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks, you're right. I just had bad luck. Okay, Rayman, it's for you. Rayman catched the mobile phone. Nicholas spoke. Kavka, the mobile phone. Nicholas spoke.
Kavka.
Tell me, Rayman, if you can. You have destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you've created? Can you name even one thing? I thought not. That's literally a line from Half-Life 2. What the fuck?
Maybe that's where the inspiration for this story came from.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh wow, we
Maybe
both
he stole it.
Oh my god. Rayman... Oh, hold on.
Seems a bit hypocritical.
Rayman thought this question for a moment, but almost instantly he figured out an answer. Actually, I can name one thing. I have created peace, balance, and harmony every time your lackeys have come to destroy every good thing we have tried to preserve. I did not actually expect anyone would have an answer. I just took that question straight from one of them. Oh my god, they're actually acknowledging it. I just took that question straight from one masterpiece computer game and tried its effect on you. Besides, you and the other rebels are destroying every good thing I've tried to preserve. Do you call that creating peace, balance, and harmony? Hey, now that we're talking about creating, why on earth you created rabbits? Their very existence is a mockery against nature.
Oh,
Damn.
I'm right here,
damn.
you know, said Sergei
It is-
weakly.
It is indeed 2009 writing.
God.
Man, that's some
Rayman
racism
is
right
just
there.
as xenophobic.
I admit
Oh.
that the creation was a rather spontaneous move, but they're just so adorable. Their slapstick humor resembles much like the classic silent comedies of Charlie Chaplin. Rebero devs, we better watch a lot of Charlie Chaplin for reference material. Heads up.
Oh boy.
You think rabbits are adorable? Geez, you truly are pure evil. Rayman heard some sizzling voice from the cell phone, and then the line went dead. Oh man, Nicholas is upset. He's crying. Oh, he is upset. Hold on. I am not evil, Nelicus yelled when he threw the remains of his melted cell phone to the wall. Mr. Dark, leave me be. The dark matter went off from him and left the hall. Only Nicholas and Diana were there. Why, oh why, people have to be so harsh to me, Nelicus said and pressed his head against the table. Why are people so mean to me?
Man, he really is pathetic.
Oh my god. Now that we
Like
got
a
like
certain other person I
descriptions,
know.
now that we got like descriptions of what his like Polycus like form is like, I want somebody to draw like, you know, that variant of the meme of like, why are people so mean to me with like the emphasized ass, like, but apply that to
Yeah.
Nelicus.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. They will understand, my friend, said Irana and patted his shoulder. They will understand. Rest of the group joined Rayman, Lee, and Teresa onto the arena. Hey Rayman, said Globox happily. I see that you have won a battle. Yes, good to see you, Rayman replied. We must get below this place and rest for a while before we could go further. That's right, Teresa said, and pointed at Professor Barranco, who was standing on upper ledge of the arena. Hey you, where's the self-destruct mechanism? Everybody went silent and waited for Barranco's answer. You must have confused me with my clone. If I have designed something, I don't plan to explode it, not even in tough situations. Come on, let's get out of here, Rayman said, press onwards. After everyone had left the stronghold, a portal appeared and gently swallowed Sergway in it. When Bronco had walked there, the portal closed. Oh, that was chapter 3. God. Okay,
What's
Holy
happening?
shit.
What is
Holy-
happening?
I can already tell at this point that I think we're getting like a specific formula here of like well actually yeah, because it's like it's basically trying to be like Rayman 2 again. We had to get like the 4 masks and stuff. But man, I love my favorite part of this chapter is just that whole round table meeting of Nelicus and his cronies being like, can this be considered art? Or we could finally ban pop music. Like
Yeah.
I think this is a good time for me to bring up what I wanted to say. Like,
yeah.
this whole story, so far at least, feels like a rant piece or like a vent piece of sorts. Like, there's so much talk about fascism and like the fucking main villain is quite literally just a fascist, and I'm wondering if like the writer came from a country that was heavily like dictated by fascism, and then they moved out of that country, and now they're in a much better place. They could say all that they want and like all the things that they weren't allowed to like now. It's like there's so much stuff here.
It's so wild.
It's nothing wild.
This started with Showen just like trying to find like any more early traces of Professor Barranco 3, and along the way we have come across a story that is incredibly ambitious for what it's doing. You know, tying events of previous Rayman games, recontextualizing what all the characters and the villains meant. It's really heavy theme of just art erasure and gentrification and fascism. If Showen didn't do his research, we would have never come across this story. This story doesn't seem to have much activity. Like, it only got like a few comments, but like that's about it. Like this is one from this user named Clark1, and they said, not too bad, but you should take some lessons from Lakimax. His stories are immense. I don't know who Lakimax is.
I don't.
I think it's probably like I think we're just like looking at like the history of like these very old fanfiction writers in the Rayman community that have been forgotten at the time.
Yeah.
E.
The author, Respectful Art, wherever you are, thank you for putting the time
Is
and
this story
effort.
finished?
Yeah, you really did a good job trying.
Yeah, like
Consider
genuinely, thank you for providing us this incredibly unique story in the Rayman fandom. Like, I don't think we would have known about this story. Like, it's funny because the author was like saying like, I posted this fan fiction in Rayman's forums, but I decided to also post it here, as there seems to be more life in here. And I'm just saying, author, like, you should post a story on, like, fucking fanfiction.nettext, AO3, whatever. I think more people need to read this story, I think.
One, their username is literally respect for art.
Yeah.
You look like very like on the nose there. But also, if they mention that they've posted this on Rayman Zone, this could mean, depending on when that original one was posted, it could mean like that must have been the oldest.
Hey.
Like it must mean that that's the oldest version of that might have been the oldest edition of Barranco Free.
Ooh.
My
If it was like we can go to the Wayback Machine and look at the old Rayman Zone forums to see if like they if something of it has been archived whatsoever.
I do wonder if did this fic ever get finished?
No.
No.
They said that they
Aw.
were planning 14 chapters, but it stops at chapter 7. So,
Halfway, basically.
yeah.
Sorry.
Are they
Halfway
still
there.
active?
But I just want to say, if they somehow like find this video and watch it through, and I just want to say, dude, can you please like continue writing this? I want to see like where it goes.
Yeah.
Yes, please make chapter
So,
A about pretty
yeah,
much them exploring the Rabbids universe and how pretty much the whole Mario and Rabbids thing happened.
Okay, can I just say, Zeta wants some context. He just got here, so let's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll give you some context, Zeta. So, yesterday, Shoen was doing some research on, what more early mentions of Professor Barranco 3 he could find, and he came across this post that is basically a fanfic called Rayman: The Culture Revolution. Professor Barranco 3 is a character in this story, and what's interesting is that this story came out like a couple days after Professor Barranco 3 was like an article in the Ray Wiki, I think. And because I like reading, I decided, well, I'm gonna read through this fanfic. I'm gonna see what it's all about, and that's what we were all doing here. I was not expecting this fanfic to be so like ambitious. There was a lot happening in the story. Like there's this new character named Nelicus, who is basically Polycus's evil twin brother. He is an art fascist. He destroyed the Glade of Dreams. All the villains from the Rayman games are all created by him, and like this story has a very strong thematic element of gentrification, where the main villain thinks that things could be considered invalid as art. Like they ban jazz fusion, pop music, rap music. They think that Mario games could barely be considered art, and yes, they literally just say this shit in the story. I'm gonna be stopping right here and read the rest of the story for next time.
You want to, Riff? Do you want to yeah? You read like 3 chapters so far, I think.
Yeah.
So you could. So maybe when you want to read the rest, we could all come back here.
Yeah. I'll make
I
sure.
definitely want to voice Andre again.
That was the first 3 chapters of Rayman: The Culture Revolution. And boy, it sure is about a culture revolution. But yeah, I thank you all so much for watching this video. Any last words from you guys, all of you?
How the heck did this Zeta's final words are doo doo.
Doo-doo. Yeah.
Yeah, my final words are reflux. Bring me my cat suit.
I just want to say that my final words would be, how the heck did we turn this from Barranco Free earliest mention to a story about fascism? The fuck?
My final words are Ice Age 3 meets Rayman.
Yeah.
My final words for this is don't be a fascist. Yeah, that's it.
My final words are treat art equally, no matter the quality, no matter the cultural context, because at the end of the day, art is beautiful, and no art can be considered more valid than the others. So, yeah. But
And also treat people,
treat
equally.
people well, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be it for this recording. Thank you all so much for watching, and you all have a good night, and take care. Bye-bye!
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.